Okay, so let's have a quick brief discussion about using loops with strings. We have already seen an example of using a loop, more precisely a for loop with strings when we were discussing indices. Here we will see that we can use both for and while loop to get the desired result using strings. So as always, we will jump to Visual Studio to see how our examples work in practice. So let's have a look at a while loop first, because I have it open. So we have a string which just states the letters from alphabet, first big letter and then repeated by a small letter. As always with while loop, we have to specify ourselves through what we will iterate, and while loop just stops when the logical condition is not met. So first we start at index 0, and then we will be increasing this index by 1 at each iteration until we reach the point where index is at least equal to the length of the string. At least equal because this inequality has to be like the result of this logical expression has to be false for the while loop to stop. And basically the only thing we are doing here is we want Python to print the letter which is at this index. So let's run this example, Python 3 while loop, and as we can see, Python prints out the letters for us, and yeah, that's all. That's a really simple example. Of course, when we reach the regular expressions topic, we will and learn some other methods on strings, not only regular expression, but some other things as well. Then you will see that these while loops might have other uses than just printing the letters. If that was the only thing we could get from using while loops, we wouldn't even discuss this in this lecture. But here, this is for you to see a simple example how you can iterate through a string using while loop, and later on we will learn how we can use it to do some more sophisticated things. You will also do so in your exercises. Here is the same example, which we can get identical result with a for loop. As you can see, this is much more easier. Basically, we have a string. String is an iterable, so we can ask Python to, using a for loop, to just go through all of the elements of this iterable. All of these elements are simply letters, so basically we can just ask Python to print this element, these letters, and we will get the desired result. Let's save this file and let's run it, and you will see that we actually get what we wanted. So exactly the same output as before, just the code was much simpler. Why did we bother with this while loop if we can write something as simple as the code in here? Well, the reason is quite simple. Later on, when we reach the moment where we will learn new methods we can use on strings, sometimes it will be useful for us to know an index of a specific character. Because, for instance, we would like to I don't know, somehow use it to modify stuff or to generate some new stuff, then these indices might be useful. We can of course have indices both using while loop and for loop, or we have already seen this. We can use range function to generate indices for a for loop, but you can use either one of them. Sometimes one of them is more useful, sometimes the other. But yeah, these two simple examples show you that we can actually use both while and for loops with strings. So this covers this topic of looping over strings, and thank you for your attention, and we will see you in the next videos.